Good morning. How are we all doing out there? Tuesday today. Not very special days. Wet and miserable outside up here as well. So, and it's cold today. So I've got my big heater on to help me out in this tiny room. It's freezing. And today is one of my favourite days. Tuesdays are about deep hip or deep stretches to help the hips, lower back and the sciatic area, which is the pain that runs all the way down the leg. And this morning, hello beautiful women, they've already got one on. I hope you're having a great day today. Say hello if you are popping on, and even if you're coming on later, feel free to say hello, because I always say hello back, and I love to see who's checking me out. But yeah, today's one of my favourite days for deep stretches to help the hips, lower back and sciatic pain. And the reason why it's one of my favourite days is because I really feel like this is the one that gives a lot of people relief. So really a lot of us struggle with sore hips, lower back and the pain that runs down the leg. And it's not really surprising because if you think about our positioning, most of the time we are sat in a desk or bent over in some way. So that is why you start to feel the stretch up the lower back, and that's why this can all become very dull and achy, and it's because we've got shortened hip flexors here and we've got elongated hip flexors which are having to make themselves longer to compensate for the fact that most of the time we're sat down in this position, especially right now because a lot of us are having to work from home. So there's not even really much freedom to be able to walk around the office, and some of you are actually working a lot later than you usually would, especially because we don't have time to get lost on our lunch break or anything as well. So yes, that's why we are feeling a lot more painful. So if you've got those sore achy hips, that lower back pain, you've experiencing maybe a bit of shooting pain that's running down the leg, there is some great stretches that we can do for it, and I'm going to show you them. Today I'm actually going to only be doing 3 stretches, and that's because I want to show you that it doesn't have to take forever to get it done, and you don't have to know an amazing amount of complex movements to help you have a good day. And hopefully if you are sitting there and you're suffering with lower back pain, hip pain and the pain that runs down the leg, this won't be too much for you to remember, and it might be something that you'll stick into your own routine. When I was at a height of really suffering with backache and hip ache and leg ache, I was doing these stretches a lot. You definitely want to be doing them at least once a day. If it's super painful, go for twice a day. I mean, you can do more than that if you want to. 3 times is amazing. Obviously, we all love the number 3. But yeah, make sure that you're starting to do some gentle work. Don't go crazy and think, oh great, I'm going to do that like 10 times over. I'm going to do those 3 stretches 10 times over. You will see the difference in one go. And all I'm asking you to do is that if you do see the difference on this one go, that you might give it another go tomorrow and the day after. And I will bet you by the end of the week, any pains that you were feeling that were related to the hip flexors and the bad back and the hip pain and the leg pain pretty much be gone. And yeah, so let's get on and do it, shall we? I've got 3 magic stretches for you today, and we're going to start with what one? Oh, this is why I need to bring you over here just for a second. I'm going to say a quick good morning and see a few people coming on there. Come and say hello to me, and I will say hello to you, especially if you are experiencing any of these pains that I am talking about today. So you'll just notice that I'm just going to put my mat up against the wall there. So if you haven't done this stretch with me before, you will definitely know about it when we do it. So this is one of the most effective stretches for lower back pain and to help out the hips in general. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line myself up against that wall. I'm going to push my hands into the floor and I'm going to put one toe up against the wall, and then I'm going to let that knee come down to the floor. From here, I'm going to bring my other foot around and I'm going to put that in the floor. Now from here, the aim is to try and get up. If you haven't done this move at all, you may want to have some chairs, like a stool or something that you can hang on to on each side. You can try to hang off the wall there for me. One thing I do not want you to do is be resting on your leg, because if you remember the chat we just had about the painfulness, is that those hip flexors are tight over here, they're much shortened, and if you do this, we're not actually giving that the stretch that it needs. We're just kneeling over and holding onto our knee. Yeah. So what I'm going to get you to do there is anchor this heel into the floor. We anchor by pressing and screwing it in. Get those things to hold on to if you need it. Hold on to the wall if you need it. If you can, you're going to pop your hands on your hips and you're going to start to notice that your hips are facing the floor. You're going to want to do this quite slowly because it can be quite painful, and if it is, it's just a sign that you are quite sore and stiff and that you probably haven't done this stretch. So what I want you to do is hands on hips. We're noticing that the hips are facing the floor, so I'm going to try to manipulate the hips. I'm just going to ask them if they wouldn't mind facing straight for me. And once you get super good at this, you can actually tuck your hips up to the ceiling and you will feel a huge, intense stretch that goes down the straight leg. Perfect. It will actually almost feel like that muscle is going to pop off of your leg. This is a painful stretch. You will feel the feedback, but I am going to tell you that this is, as painful as it is my most effective stretch at getting rid of that lower back pain. Really is. So what we're going to do now that we've put ourselves in that position is we're going to hold it. And if you want to make this just one more worse, we're going to drive our hips. Now that they're facing the ceiling, we're now going to drive them into our anchor. Perfect. Love it. Well done. And then you're going to hold that up to a minute on each leg. Nice. Perfect. If you're just getting into that, give yourselves a few seconds to have a fight with the balance. Hold on to the wall. If you aren't at a pace yet where you can start to manipulate your hips, that's cool. Just holding on to the wall and feeling that stretch down the straight leg is really going to help you out there. So I'm going to change over and I'm going to do the other leg now. I'm going to bring one foot up onto the wall. I'm going to let the knee come down to the floor, and then from here I'm going to bring my other foot around and I'm going to anchor that heel into the floor. Now if I need a minute, if I want to grab some things to balance with, I'm going to. If I want to use the wall, I'm going to. I'm going to take some deep breaths. Here's one thing that I want you to notice, that if you are going back for the wall, that you're not letting your bum touch the wall. We're coming out. Maybe I should take that off. Might be able to see that a little bit better. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is focus that anchor into the floor. I'm going to start to manipulate the hips because I can. But again, if you're not at a point yet where you can start to ask your hips to face the opposite or face the ceiling, and you're just here, it's all good. You're probably still feeling a massive stretch down this leg. It feels quite intense. It does feel like that muscle's going to pop off, but that's what makes this stretch so effective. It's amazing at getting rid of lower back pain and hip pain. Perfect. So once I've managed to put myself into a good position, I'm going to, if I can, I'm going to start to drive my hips into my anchor. Yeah, this feels like it's going to pop off my leg any minute now. I'm going to deep breathe and I'm going to hold it for up to a minute. And this is the stretch that nobody likes doing, but I make everybody do it. If you come to any of my classes, especially when we used to actually be in the gym, I used to make the whole room get up against a wall and do this, and they hated it. But I tell you what, they still did it with me every single time they saw me because they knew how effective it was. And that's the point of it. Perfect. So we're going to hold that in there just for a little bit longer. Nice. Driving it down. Perfect. We're never leaning over and sticking the bum out. So that is my magic stretch number 1. Perfect. I'm just going to have a little realign of my mat there so that I can show you number 2. Number 2. What was number 2? Number 2 is a good old pigeon stretch, and I do this. I do this multiple times a day, this stretch. So we're going to anchor, and you're going to bring one knee up. You're going to stick one foot out the other side there, and you're going to use your hands to press you down on top of that leg. And then you're going to feel this in the bum and the hips, this stretch. So what I want you to do once you're feeling quite good in there is, first of all, make sure that you are anchored by pressing and screwing those palms in. If you're not anchored, you may have a shrunken in head. Yeah, that's not anchored. This is anchored. Perfect. And then I want you to focus on squeezing your bum. Nice. And again, we're going to hold this one for about a minute. Love it. Well done. Perfect. Good stuff. Really good for the bum and again the hips there. It's a nice one. Love that. Hold that there for a few more seconds, and then we're going to change it over and do the other leg. Nice. So we're going to bring one knee up, we're going to stick one foot out, and then we're going to use our anchors to press us down on top of that leg. Perfect. So we'll make sure we've got good anchors and not rubbish ones. Nice. Good morning, people who are joining. I can't see your comments, but I will be able to see them soon. I hope that you're finding this very... I hope that you're feeling it, and I hope that you're feeling it. Perfect. Nice. Another thing to note while you're doing your old pigeon stretches here, is that you do have a little bum squeeze going on, because that's just going to help this stretch be a tiny bit more effective. And if you've been doing pigeon stretches forever and they don't feel as good as they used to, what I want you to do is grab your heel and just manipulate the angle very slightly. Don't be mean about it. But if you slightly manipulate the angle of the foot, you will feel a better stretch around the glutes and the hips there. Perfect. So this is my number 2. Nice. Cool. From here, we're going to have a little lay down, and we're going to head in and do my last one, which is a good old hamstring stretch. Nice. I used to have to do hamstring stretches every single day. I think I still do hamstring stretches every single day, unless it's a weekend, because I don't work out then. And these are amazing at helping that dull ache go away. Sometimes it's a shooting pain that goes all the way up this leg. So what we're going to do here, if you can't reach your leg, you're going to grab yourself a little towel or something that you can just hook around that leg so that you can hold it in. And I want you to focus on getting your shoulders on the floor before you start doing anything else. If you ever find that you start doing this stretch and you're bringing yourself up into it, you're actually taking a lot of the stretch away, because your upper body's getting involved and you're not letting your leg do the work that it's supposed to. So we're going to get those shoulders back in the floor. We're going to point that toe up, and then we're going to start to draw massive circles of it. I love to do circles both ways, by the way, in both ways. And this is because even as you do them with me now, you will feel the whole rotation of that ankle. You'll feel different stretches up the calves and up the back of the leg. So nice. We'll do a few of those circles. They're also amazing for helping out your squats and lunges. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to try and focus on straightening that leg and then I want you to bring that toe down to your face. Now if you have the towel, you can also hook this around your foot so that you can manipulate the angle of the foot, and the more that you can put your toe down to your face, the more it's going to hurt and the more effective it's going to be. Let me just make this clear. Usually if they are super painful, then we don't do them. You will definitely know the difference between a stretching pain and a pain that feels like it's going to lead on to injury. And you feel that actually throughout this whole stretching session today. Most of these are slow holding stretches, and they do give you a lot of feedback, but you feel the difference, you know the difference between a pain and an injury. See, this is quite dull and achy even for me. I can feel that deadness, that dead stretch that almost goes all the way up that leg there. But I also know that I need to work towards that because that's where the stretch is happening, and I need to tease that range of motion. So I'm going to take myself back through all those circles again. Perfect. Nice. We'll go both ways. Make sure we get all of them. Nice. From here I'm going to straighten my leg. I'm just going to check my shoulders are back on the floor, and I'm going to try and point my toe down to my face. Nice. I'm going to try and keep my leg straight as well. If you do these and you feel that your leg shakes a lot when you do it, don't be put off. It's just that you're reaching the point of where it's weak, where it's feeling the strength in it, but it's a little bit weak, so you're getting that shaking resistance. But it's actually a really good sign that you're going to build the strength so that that shake won't happen for too much longer, and then you'll see the quality of these ones improve for sure. Perfect. So I'm going to pop that one down on the floor. And there is just 3 magic moves that if you did them, you will feel the difference. You will feel a lot nicer around your back, your bum and your legs. And I would love for you to tell me if you did manage to do them with me just now, so that you can share with the world how magic they were. Even if you're watching later and I'm not here, but I'm here, tell everybody how good they are, so that we can start convincing more people to start moving, so that they can also enjoy days of less pain. I've got such unruly hair this morning. Oh, okay, perfect. How are we all doing out there? Did anybody get involved with that? Or were you just watching me do all the hard work? Perfect. Lovely. Good morning. Hey Tina and Rob and Amanda. Well done. Well done for being here. Morning. Morning. Perfect. Lovely. And as I was saying yesterday, you don't actually have to be someone that works out to be able to do these stretches. If you're feeling achy and painful and sore, then do the damn stretches and see for yourself how much of a difference they make to your day, and then tell everybody else about it so that they might do it as well. That would be lovely. Nice. Okay, then as ever guys, if any of you do find that you're having or experiencing particular pain points that maybe I haven't spoken about or you want me to talk about, then send me a little message, and I'm sure I'd love to do a piece on it. I'd like to make stuff relevant to you lot, so if you're going to tune in and watch me every day, but there's something that you want me to do, then ask me about it. Even if I don't get to see you in the morning, if you're one of these people that watches later on, tell me about it. Chances are, if you or someone you know is in pain or experiencing pain, then there's probably a lot of other people in the world that are too. And so you never know what that share button can do and who you can help just by pressing it. Lovely. Right then, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to have a cracking day, and I hope everybody here has an amazing day too, and I will be seeing you all tomorrow. I think it's an upper body stretch tomorrow, so yes, that will be for shoulders, neck, chest area, so make sure you tune in and see me there for that as well. Lovely. Have a great day, and I will see you in the morning.